Explore education across 6 destinations under one roof.
Good evening and a very warm welcome. This is Primetime News on TV1. It's the 21st of January 2024. For the Newsfirst team, I am Thiruni Karunaratna. Before we head on to your stories in detail, let's first take a look at your top stories for tonight.
Roshan, who was shot dead by a police officer, bids adieu. Motorcyclist Gunman back to the fore. One shot dead in Telijavilla, Mathura. Let's collectively defeat the government's attempt to suppress democratic rights. 56 civil organizations unite. Sridharan elected leader of ITAC in secret ballot.
First on to your top story this evening, the media, civil society and trade union coalition says that the general public should collectively defeat the government's attempt to suppress democratic rights by restricting freedom of speech and expression of the people.
The media, civil society and trade union coalition, consisting of 56 organizations, pointed out that the government is attempting to pass several repressive laws to suppress the freedom of expression of the general public and win the upcoming elections at any cost. The statement specifically cites the attempts to pass the online safety bill and the anti-terrorism bill. The media, civil society and trade union coalition said that a president who was not elected through a public mandate and a parliament consisting of rejected public representatives does not have a moral right to pass repressive legislation and impose new laws. The media, civil society and trade union coalition urged all political parties and also proposed all public representatives to commit to building a democratic country where all citizens can live with respect and dignity.
The final rites of Roshan Kumara Tila, who was shot dead by a police officer in Dampalassa, Naramala, were observed today. Several politicians were among those who came to pay their final respects.
"42-year-old Roshan Kumara Tila, a father of 3, a carpenter from Vattayakanda, was reportedly travelling home in his small lorry along the Negambo-Kurunegala road at around 7 p.m. on Thursday, when the incident occurred in Dampalassa, Naramala. Many people visited his residence today to pay their last respects. Parliamentarian Dayasiri Jayasekara expressed these views to the media.
This is an unfortunate incident and the police should learn a lesson from it. His life was invaluable. You cannot measure his life with 1 million rupees. He has 3 children. He's a man who has given jobs to about 25 to 30 people. They were his dependents. In my opinion, it is completely wrong to value this life at 1 million rupees. This is clearly murder and the police should be held responsible.
The final rites of Roshan Kumara Tila were observed this evening.
යතා හින්නං පවද්දති
Meanwhile, a protest organised by the People's Struggle Movement of the Frontline Socialist Party was held in Naramala this morning, demanding justice for late Roshan Kumara Tilaka.
This is state terrorism. Do not be numb to this anymore. Do not fear this. Do not wait until they come and knock on your door tomorrow. Do not wait until you are held at gunpoint. Tomorrow I will be held at gunpoint. It will be someone else another day after that. And the next day it will be aimed at the media. They will kill you and later compensate your wife and your children with ₹1,000,000. Will that be enough? Can those children bring back their father to life with that ₹1,000,000? Can that wife bring back her husband to life with ₹1,000,000? Can you give that mother her son back using the ₹1,000,000?
A protest was held opposite the Open University in Navala, demanding for justice for Roshan Kumara Tilaka, who was shot dead by the police. The protest was jointly organised by the Inter-University Students' Federation and the Students' Union of Navala Open University. Water cannons had been deployed at the protest site.
With this death, we see a major attempt at state repression in society. There is a major tax burden and pressure upon the people of this country. This attempt is to suppress the opposition the government expects from the people. It is also an attempt at police and military brutality in the society.
Police say that the target of the gunman who opened fire in Telijavila, Mathura was a shop owner. Now, investigations conducted so far have revealed that the gunman had mistaken a person inside the shop as the owner of the shop.
Crime Watch.
The shooting took place at about 8 p.m. at a mobile phone shop at the Telijavila junction in Mathura. The deceased is a 22-year-old youth named Alutkamage Mindika. He was employed at a private garment factory and a resident in Monamalpe, Valigama. Mindika had visited a mobile phone shop owned by one of his friends at the Telijavila junction after work. He had been at the cashier seat when the gunman came into the shop while the owner of the shop seated on a motorcycle outside of the shop. CCTV cameras captured footage of two people coming in front of the shop on a motorbike. The pillion rider then enters the shop and shoots Mindika, who was inside the shop. Mindika died on the spot. Our reporter said that the victim had been expecting to travel abroad for work after having passed a qualifying examination with flying colours. Mathura Chief Magistrate Anurav Indrajit Buddhasena conducted the magisterial inquest early this morning. The body of the deceased has been moved to the Mathura General Hospital for the post-mortem examination. Our reporter said that the owner of the mobile phone shop was handed over to the custody of the Mathura District Crime Division. The motorcycle suspected to have been ridden by the gunman was found abandoned in a forest area in Bandattaravalla in Tihagoda, Mathura.
The police media spokesperson expressed these views regarding the incident. We suspected that the gunman had mistaken their target. We are investigating it along those lines. Investigations conducted thus far had not linked the deceased individual to any criminal activity.
Crime Watch.
.987 suspects were arrested in the 24 hours that ended at 12:30 this morning under Operation Yuktir conducted across the island. Now, police said that 663 suspects connected to various drug offences and 324 suspects on the list referred to the Crimes Division were among the arrested. 270 grams of heroin, 140 grams of ice, 18 kilograms of cannabis and other narcotic substances were seized during these raids.
The suspect was arrested while in possession of 1,000 pills and a stash of heroin in a raid conducted by the Kaluthara District Crime Division in Kaluthara Mihikathawatta. Police said that the suspect was selling drugs to school children. Long-distance buses plying along the Colombo-Katharagama main road were inspected today. More than 100 SIM cards were found in the possession of two individuals travelling from Mathura to Katharagama. They have been arrested by the Hambantota police.
According to the Constitution, this year is an election year. The presidential election must be held, while the other elections also could be called this year. Now, political parties are gearing up to contest for the upcoming polls. The Ilangai Tamil Arasu Katchi, or ITAC, elected a new leader for their party today. S. Sridharan was elected as the new leader of the ITAC during a secret ballot held in Trincomalee today.
The secret ballot to elect new leaders of the Ilangai Tamil Arasu Katchi was conducted at the Trincomalee Town Hall this morning. Parliamentarians, President's Council M.A. Sumanthiran, S. Sridharan and former parliamentarian S. Yogeshwaran contested for the office of leader of the ITAC. All 330 members of the Central Working Committee of ITAC had qualified to vote at the secret ballot. Parliamentarian S. Sridharan secured 184 votes at the secret ballot, while President's Council M.A. Sumanthiran secured 137 votes. Mave Senadiraja was the outgoing leader of ITAC. The candidates who contested for the leadership of the party expressed these views after the election. Our party showed both the local and international community that our party follows a democratic process in appointing a leader. I express my heartfelt congratulations to Sridharan, who won the ballot. Both of us have responsibilities in our party. This is something to be happy about. Let's work together in this journey. Let's move forward like that. I would like to pledge my unconditional support to our elected leader, Sridharan. We have written a new chapter in the history of our party in a democratic fashion. This has instilled trust in many people. Many young people trust in the party. We have shown our strength and resilience. All of us will work together. Chairman of the United National Party Vajirabe Varthan expressed these views about the upcoming election. Look at how tactful the leader of the UNP Ranil Wickremesinghe is. The people who reprimanded him are now calling him their leader. Can there be a bigger victory than that? There are a few who are submitting applications for candidacy at the presidential election. Anura is a good friend of mine. People are fascinated by him. They were once fascinated by Mahinda Rajapaksa. I don't see much of a difference between Mahinda and Anura. Both of them can fascinate the people. You can't develop the country like that. We are not going to give our leader just 6 years. We are going to give him 12 years to rule our country. Ranil Wickremesinghe, the leader of the United National Party, is a leader who cannot be suppressed by any other leader in the world.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa today in Polgahawela explained how to manage the economy by coordinating with the International Monetary Fund.
IMF එකේ නියෝජිත මහත්වරු ඒ කණ්ඩායම මාවත් හමු වුණා මගේ ආර්ථික කණ්ඩායම.
The IMF representatives met me too. They met my economic group as well. We told them clearly that we hope to work with the IMF. We will introduce a program that doesn't burden the people, because we can't move forward by rejecting the IMF. Can we depend on North Korea? Can we depend on poor countries such as Sudan or Somalia? We must discuss a solution suitable for the country within the IMF framework. We speak the bitter truth. We gave the IMF the message that we will amend the IMF agreement in a people-friendly way.
සංශෝධනය කරන්නට කටයුතු කරනවා කියන පණිවිඩය අපි IMF එකට ලබා දුන්නා.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe is currently overseas to participate in several international conferences. President Ranil Wickremesinghe engaged in a formal meeting with his Ugandan counterpart, Yoweri Museveni, yesterday. President Museveni warmly welcomed President Ranil Wickremesinghe's leadership in putting Sri Lanka's economy on the right track. The leaders discussed about Sri Lanka's new economic program, with President Ranil Wickremesinghe highlighting the positive economic trajectory since entering into an agreement with the International Monetary Fund. He emphasized the anticipated growth in 2024. Leader of the Jathika Jana Balawegaya, Kumara Disanayaka, said that the current government is so helpless that they cannot even decide which election to hold first.
According to the Constitution, the presidential election is next and it should be held. But the people are unsure as to which election will be held first. People ask us which election we think will be called first. This was not the case in the past. If the presidential election was due, the presidential election will be held and they will win. If the general election was due next, they hold the election and they win. But what has happened now? The current government is so helpless that they can't decide which election to hold first. This was not the case in the past. Do you remember the time of Mahinda Rajapaksa? They held elections before the due dates. But what has happened today? Let's all unite and work towards creating a new awakening in the country at whatever election is held this year. The creation of a new government of the Jathika Jana Balawegaya is the dawn of a new era. Winning this election is not the end for us. It is a new beginning.
එහෙම නැතුව අපි ඡන්දෙ දින්නවා කියන්නේ අපේ අවසානයේ නෙවෙයි මේ වැඩේ ආරම්භය.
His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit says that the need of the hour is a political framework that is capable of resolving the current issues of the people.
His Eminence Cardinal Malcolm Ranjit, the Archbishop of Colombo, was the chief celebrant at the festive High Mass of St. Joseph Vaz, the patron saint of Sri Lanka, held on the 21st of January at the St. John the Baptist Church, Modhara. This celebration also commemorated the passing of the final missionary of the Oration Order of Priests hailing from Goa, India, which St. Joseph Vaz was a part of during his life.
ජනතාවගේ ඇඟට කරදර තව තවත් පටවලා බරපටවලා තද නීති.
You cannot change this society by suppressing the people and forcing laws upon them. That is what is happening today. This parliament is passing laws weekly. An example is that they have now introduced a new electricity bill. No one is aware of its content. This selfish Thai court culture and allowing the West to dictate terms is not suitable for us. The political framework that is suitable for us is one that works towards solving the innocent man's poverty. We should work towards preserving the supremacy of the law and also put a stop to the unlawful interventions into matters of the judiciary. Such actions will put the rule of law in jeopardy. The present and future rulers are incapable of this. They don't have the right to do this.
People took to the streets of Thimbirigasaya once again, demanding for political reform and an end to corruption in Sri Lanka.
Once more, the people of Thimbirigasaya has joined in their silent protest. Their stand is resolute now for 250 days. Their demand is simple: for the government to end its corruption. They are voicing their concerns about the Narammal shooting incident against an ordinary citizen, and they are also claiming against the exorbitant price hikes of vegetables.
You know, they don't understand how painful is the heart of a mother after she has given birth to a child and expecting that child to grow up to be someone. And suddenly one day a policeman comes along and shoots him on the head for no reason, and that person dies. And that policeman says, I didn't know what I was doing. You know, how could that happen in a country? So I would say Ayuktya is happening in the police. Ayuktya is happening in the army. And Ayuktya is happening in the forces. If Ayuktya is happening in the forces, how can there be a Yuktya for the people? That's a joke. It's a real joke.
You may have been selected to that position by 134 mainly Hutu people. But remember, you have a duty towards your citizens, 22 million citizens. So do the right thing.
Yeah, as we know that, the cost of things are just really gone astronomical. But there doesn't seem to be any care in the governance to actually, curtail spending on the part of their part.
With all the taxes and the middlemen and everything, the prices have gone up. Vegetables are far beyond the reach of the average person. So that means even the people who could afford now no longer can afford.
The buffaloes that come to
right. Good governance
News First with the people.
Red Sea crisis.
US Central Command forces yesterday struck a Houthi anti-ship missile that was aimed into the Gulf of Aden and prepared to launch, with the latest round of strikes coming hours after the United States struck 3 other Houthi anti-ship missiles. Now, the 2-month campaign by Houthi rebels against commercial ships in the Red Sea has caused severe disruption to global shipping. The United States and the United Kingdom have responded with a series of strikes against Houthi targets aimed at stopping further attacks and protecting trade through the crucial shipping route.
The U.S. Central Command said in a statement on X, quote, U.S. forces determined the missile presented a threat to merchant vessels and U.S. Navy ships in the region and subsequently struck and destroyed the missile in self-defense, unquote. The incident is the latest amid growing tensions and opens new tabs in the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden that have disrupted global trade and raised fears of supply bottlenecks. Meanwhile, Britain's Defence Ministry said it would spend £405 million, that is $514 million, to upgrade a missile system now being used by the Royal Navy to shoot down hostile drones over the Red Sea. The ministry said the Sea Viper air defence system will be upgraded with missiles featuring a new warhead and software enabling it to counter ballistic missile threats. A militant trade union leader has threatened to disrupt Britain's military mission against the Red Sea by calling for a strike by civilian sailors who provide vital supplies to the Royal Navy warships. The National Union of Rail, Maritime and Transport Workers called Israel's war on Hamas in Gaza a genocide. He revealed plans for strike action by Royal Fleet auxiliary sailors who are vital in the resupply of ships conducting strikes against Houthi attacking Israel-bound cargo ships off the coast of Yemen in support of Hamas. Foreign media also reported that commanders from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, or the IRGC, and Lebanon's Hezbollah group are on the ground in Yemen, helping to direct and oversee Houthi attacks on the Red Sea shipping. Quoting regional sources, the report added that Iran, which has armed, trained and funded the Houthis, stepped up its weapons supplies to the militia in the wake of the war in Gaza, which erupted after Iranian-backed militants Hamas attacked Israel on the 7th of October. The sources said Tehran has provided advanced drones, anti-ship cruise missiles, precision strike ballistic missiles and medium-range missiles to the Houthis, who started targeting commercial vessels in November in solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza.
Iran's president said an airstrike on the Syrian capital that killed 5 senior members of Iran's security forces will not go unanswered. Now, foreign media report that such strikes have intensified since the Israel-Gaza war began following Hamas's October 7th attacks on Israel.
Iran's President Ibrahim Raisi said Israel was to blame for the attack, which also killed a number of Syrian forces. According to reports, Israel has not commented. For years, it has carried out strikes on Iranian-linked targets in Syria. In a statement posted on the president's official website, Raisi expressed the condolences to the families of the high-ranking martyrs. He vowed to avenge their deaths and described the attacks as a cowardly assassination of 5 of Iran's most distinguished advisors. The statement described the strike as terrorist and criminal and said it shows the height of Israel's desperation and weakness against the combatants of the resistance front. The statement said, quote-unquote, "It will not remain unanswered."
A number of US military personnel have been injured in a missile attack on an airbase in western Iraq. It is the latest in a series of attacks on US positions in Iraq and Syria by Iran's proxies in the region since the outbreak of the Israel-Gaza conflict last October.
The US military central command said an Iran-backed militia targeted the Al-Assad air base, which hosts American troops, with ballistic missiles and rockets yesterday. An unspecified number of US personnel were undergoing evaluation for traumatic brain injuries. At least 1 Iraqi service member was wounded in the attack. The strike against the base was claimed by a group calling itself the Islamic Resistance in Iraq. According to the US-based Washington Institute for Near East Policy, the group emerged in late 2023 and is comprised of several Iran-affiliated armed groups operating in Iraq. It has claimed other attacks against US forces in recent weeks, and Al-Assad base has been attacked repeatedly in recent years. The US military said most of the missiles fired were intercepted, but some evaded air defenses and hit the base, adding that an assessment of the damage is ongoing.
The Adams Bridge is a 48-kilometer-long chain of limestone shoals in the Sea of Sri Lanka. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi today visited Dhanushkodi, located in close proximity to the Adams Bridge along border. The Indian Prime Minister inspected the Adams Bridge between India and Sri Lanka.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi today visited Aruchimune in Tamil Nadu, located in close proximity to the Sea of Sri Lanka and the Indian border. He then inspected the Adams Bridge connecting Sri Lanka and India. Adams Bridge, also known as Rama's Bridge or Rama Setu, is a chain of shoals between Mannar Island off the northwest coast of Sri Lanka and Rameshwaram Island. Traditionally, Adams Bridge is said to be the remnant of a huge causeway constructed by Rama, the hero of the Hindu epic Ramayana, to facilitate the passage of his army from India to Sri Lanka for the rescue of his abducted wife Sita from the demon king Ravana. There are 16 small islands between Thalaimannar and Rameshwaram in India. The 8 islands closest to Sri Lanka belongs to Sri Lanka, while the rest belongs to India. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi today paid floral tribute to the Adams Bridge that is said to have been used to lead an army to Sri Lanka to save Rama's abducted wife Sita. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid the floral tribute while on tour of Tamil Nadu. The Indian Premier is on this tour against a backdrop where the Kumbhabhisheka ceremony of the Maharama temple, built in Ayodhya, India, is scheduled to take place tomorrow. This event is slated to be held tomorrow with much pomp and pageantry. The construction of the Maharama temple in Ayodhya, considered to be the hometown of Rama, began in 2020. The unveiling of the statue of Maharama is also scheduled to take place tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is the chief guest at the festival. Meanwhile, a sacred stone structure has been sent to the Maharama Kovil in Ayodhya from the Sita Elias Sitayaman Kovil in Norelia. Many festivals and religious observances have been organized in various parts of Sri Lanka in line with the Kumbhabhisheka ceremony of the Maharama temple in Ayodhya tomorrow.
Newsfirst, main sponsor.
Reach beyond boundaries with EdLocate. Explore education across 6 destinations under one roof. Explore education across 6 destinations: England, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, Malaysia and Vietnam under one roof on 27 January from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Taj Samudra. Speak directly with university representatives. Scholarships available. Calling 077 177 0361.
Meanwhile, prices of imported eggs have increased.
The price of eggs imported from India and sold through Sirasa has been increased effective from today. Accordingly, the price of an imported egg will increase by 8 rupees from 35 rupees to 43 rupees. Trade, Commerce and Food Safety Minister Nalin Fernandez said that the increase in VAT is the reason for the increase in prices.
Russian aviation authorities said a Russian-registered plane with 6 people thought to be on board disappeared from radar screens over Afghanistan the previous night after local Afghan police said that they had received reports of a crash.
Russian aviation authorities said in a statement the plane was a charter ambulance flight travelling from India via Uzbekistan to Moscow on a French-made Dassault Aviation Opens new Tab Falcon 10 jet manufactured in 1978. Police in northern Afghanistan received reports of a plane crash in Badakhshan province. Police said there were no confirmed details on the type of plane, cause of crash or casualties.
And with that, we wrap up primetime news for tonight. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Tharuni Karunaratna. Thank you for watching. Take care and good night.